Welcome to Career Hustle. I'm Sarika Danjal, and I'm on a mission to help young adults step confidently into the world of work with clarity, skills, and behaviours they need to thrive. Each episode, I talk to guests from different industries, break down real workplace topics, and share practical guidance on skills, careers, and what it means to step into the world of work with confidence. Career Hustle is here to help you understand yourself, explore your options, and build a future that feels right for you. Welcome to part 2 of my conversation with James Tomasi Kennedy. James is a global career coach helping people rebuild confidence, articulate their stories with clarity, and secure roles that they thought were once out of their reach. So in this half of our discussion, we go even further into mindset, habits, and practical strategies that shape real career momentum. So in one of my earlier podcasts, I spoke to the business development manager at Birmingham City University, and he mentioned one of the things he used to do when he would kind of support students getting their placements and, graduate jobs. One of the things he said is to have that elevator pitch ready so that, you can sell yourself in a short, succinct way. How, what advice could you give to people about their elevator pitch? Because often it can come across as rehearsed. So we want it to be kind of really authentic, really genuine. So what advice could you give for people kind of thinking about what to include and how to come across?
Ooh, elevator pitch. So the what advice when I speak to people is it's a bit like the tell me about yourself question at the beginning of an interview, or, you know, it's the icebreaker apparently, right?
Yeah.
And I tell people is, again, for me, when I'm building relationships and you're going to speak to people, if you're meeting them for the first time, it's about telling what you want in a coherent way that it makes it easy for them to make the connection. This is what you're looking for. This is what you do. Let me connect you with here, right? Let me give a case in point. A lot of the times I look on LinkedIn and people out of jobs and they are looking for work and they're struggling and they're telling me I'm looking for this and this in this city and everything, and that's all they give out there, right? And then from my perspective I said, okay, so now as a hiring manager I'm looking for a project manager, you're saying you're a project manager, and now I have to go and click on your profile to see what you've done, to see if you're the right fit for me. And it's like, if you understand that people are busy and got so much and they don't have the time to chat, instead of doing it like that, show me some of the projects you've worked on, the value of those projects, the things you've done that's relevant for the type of role you want. Then it makes it easier for me to connect. Okay, so you might be useful for this department because they're doing similar work. So I tell people the elevator pitch, okay? I would if people ask me, who are you, what do you do? To tie all my career from a career perspective, right? I would say to people throughout my career, because I've had different 9 careers, I would go through a common theme that connects it all together. Right? So throughout my career, I've always been obsessed about processes and systems and how to make things simpler, faster, and easier for others.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, that works for project management, that works for operations management that I've done, that works for different roles, but also for the CV process I've done as well. So what I've done is I've threaded my whole career through process improvement as that. And then I would give, so for example, some of the projects I've worked in the past is looking at this, we've made 50% efficiency. So I talk about the value I bring to the table.
Yes. Yeah.
Not about, I've just graduated from here. Yeah, I don't care. I've just done this. Yeah, I don't care. Right? So, I know it might seem harsh that I say I don't care, but I'm talking from the person on the other side.
Yeah.
You're telling me stuff that has no interest to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Well, as to say, well, I've just recently graduated in mechanical engineering and I'm looking to go into here. Some of the projects that I've worked on is this, and this. And do you know anyone? Right? So the last bit in there, do you know anyone, is a pattern interrupt. Because when you do your elevator pitch, it's not about the person in front of you just now. You're talking about their network and who do they know that might be a right connection for you. So if I ask you, Sarika, do you have a job for me?
Yes.
That's a yes/no question. No, what I'm trying to say is it's an open-close question, right?
Yes.
Whereas if I say, do you know anyone in the mechanical engineering space that I might be able to speak to get me in there? Okay. Now, if you like me, I've turned you into an advocate to go, okay, let me think in my Rolodex of contacts who might be good for you for there.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Right?
I've been on the receiving end of that where I've seen things like that. And interestingly, it was more of a visual. So I used to work in marketing in one of my old previous roles. And the best marketing, somebody had been just graduated, and they'd put up marketing that they'd done for Netflix. Well, they hadn't done it for Netflix, but they used Netflix and they created something, and they put the video up. And I looked at the video and I was like, I'm hiring for a marketing manager. I want that person. And somebody else snapped her up, but that got my attention. That was like, that's the demonstrating what she's capable of. And it was really good. Yeah, definitely.
Love it. And just to add to what you just said there, because I love that. For everyone here watching this after, you got to think about how you're going to stand out from the competition, and at the same time, figure out how you can add value. Right? Sarika, through watching someone's coursework, right? Because that's basically it. They just did a coursework of what they did up there, right? So you don't even need the experience. You can make up the experience of the coursework you're doing to demonstrate your passion, to demonstrate what you've done, so it makes it quicker and easier for you, right? So Sarika didn't even look at her CV. She didn't even look at everything.
No, I didn't.
She saw the impact of the work that she did and said, I like that person, right? So figure out how you want to stand out. For most of our life, we're told, humble, keep your head down, blend in with the crowd.
Yeah.
You can't do that when you're going after jobs, because you're trying to stand out from the crowd. So again, the mindset shift and how you do that is the bit that needs to change.
Yes, I agree. And that resonates with me because I'm reading a book at the moment around habits and what have you. And one of the things it mentions in there is, how do you want to be seen? What's your identity by other people? So if you almost morph into that in terms of when you're applying for roles and your CV, it helps you to become that person. You build habits to be that person. So yes, that's definitely a really good.
Just out of interest, what's the name of the book?
Now you're asking me. It's James Clear. James Clear and
Atomic Habits.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, no, because I've read it. So it's like, hey, this sounds very familiar. Why do I know this book? Yeah, but great book, guys. So guys, if you're watching, plug in for James Clear, Atomic Habits, a great book.
I would agree.
Our habits and what we do every day helps to build our identity into all of us as well. So great job.
I agree. So in terms of that interview, CV, got your foot through the door, you've now got your interview. And what a lot of people don't seem to understand, especially kind of the younger generation, is actually it's a two-way process. You're not just, the interviewer is not just interviewing for you for the role, but it's also your opportunity to say, actually, do I fit with this culture and the behaviours that are being demonstrated by that company? So from a person kind of, sat on the other side, I've come into an interview. Is there any kind of big red flags that you kind of think, actually, that job seeker might turn around and say, that's not the right role for me?
So I'm looking from the candidate's perspective or the hiring manager's perspective?
From the candidate's perspective, to say, actually, I've got the opportunity to see, is this the right company? Is there any red flags that would kind of highlight, actually, this is not the right company for me?
So for me, what I'll always tell people the same thing. You need to trust your gut.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to say is that there's no hard and fast rule of everything, but if something feels off, it's because it is.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously, if you're speaking to people that haven't gone through many interviews yet, it was not that. But for me, I'm very much a person that treats everybody with respect. Right. And so, for example, I had a candidate where she come onto a Zoom online interview and her camera was on.
Yeah.
And 3 cameras are off for the people on the other side.
Oh.
The panel's cameras are off. Okay.
Yeah.
So as I tell people, if that's the case, then I don't want to work with those types of people.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So sometimes it's not pretty much what they say or think. Sometimes it's how do you speak people with respect? Okay. Just because you're a young graduate coming in.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I should be treating you any less than a person or that type of thing.
Yeah.
And if they start shouting and they start doing all this, that's who they are normally.
Yes. Yeah.
Because normally when we meet people for the first time, we're supposed to have our best foot forward, and but if they start showing through the cracks of who they really, really are, believe it.
Yes.
Okay? And I know a lot of people want their first job. And sometimes maybe going to, in a toxic role, you learn so much about, I definitely don't want to do that. Right? So even the terrible experiences, we learn something from it as well. And for me, in terms of the types of questions you ask as well. right?
Yes.
I said interview is a two-way street. And for people, I always tell them, but ask questions about the company and what they're doing and some of the projects to show your interest.
There's so many times that I've done interviews recently. You ask them if they've got any questions, and it's like, no, I think you've answered everything, and it's a wasted opportunity.
Yes. So to go with that as well, everyone that watches this, you should always have questions. Why you should always have questions? Because as human beings, it's all about making a great first impression, but more importantly, it's all about how you make a great lasting impression at the end. So the quality of questions that you can ask and talk about, and like I said, if you're not sure, use AI. What type of questions you'll be asking about this company at the end? Okay, shows me that you've done some homework. Shows me that you've done some interest. You have some interest, right? And it's about the company and how's it working there, and show your passion for the role. That you really want it more than just another paycheck. And I know for a lot of people, I just need a job to pay the bills. I get that, but as a business person, I'm not just hiring you to pay your bills. I'm hiring because you really want to do this. You're really going to make an impact, and you're going to come in and gel with my team as well, right? Because as Sarika knows, as a manager, it's not about getting the right person in. It's getting the right person that's going to fit with the team. And so make sure I gel with that person, but make sure my team gels with them. Because the team dynamics, if you hire the wrong person into a team, oh my gosh, the amount of problems are going to cause off the back of that, right? And that's the challenges only managers know if they've gone through that process in the past. When you make the wrong hire, it causes so. So this is why a lot of managers are risk averse. Okay, because when I hire someone, it's not just for me. I'm worried about the impact to my team when I bring him in here.
I definitely agree. And the funny thing is you spend so long at work. Why not do something you enjoy? Why not do something you're passionate about? Because, I think you're right. A lot of people just do it as another paycheck. But if the whole ethos of kind of this whole podcast and Career Hustle, it started off by actually what skills do people enjoy? What areas can we find roles that they're passionate about, that they want to do? Not just almost follow, I want to be a doctor or I want to be this. Actually, if you've got no interest in helping people or, the healthcare, why are you going into being a doctor? Yes, it pays well, but that shouldn't be the driver.
Yes, and just to add to that, some of us with our cultural backgrounds, the expectations is we need to be a doctor, or we got to be an engineer, or you got to be all this because it's all about status, right? And I'm going to tell you for the young people watching this here, it's your life, it's not your parents' life. And your parents might not happy with me telling you that, but do the things that make you happy. Because when you do the things that make you happy, you're going to become even better at it. Right. I do the example of what was your least favorite subject at school, Sarika?
Music. Or PE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or PE, right? I saw your face when there's PE, right? Right. So imagine, Sarika, if they paid very well, but you were doing something PE related for the rest of your life.
Oh, I would hate it.
Right?
Yes.
It's not about the money. You would hate it. And so the things I tell people is, sometimes, and I speak to a lot of amazing, brilliant people, and they're in amazing jobs and amazing job titles with making lots of money. But a lot of times as well, it can also become what they call the golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
They're not happy with what they're doing, but they're stuck there because they're making lots of money and the bills and everything are off the back of that, but they're not happy. Right? Whereas they're saying, but imagine you doing something that you really, really like and enjoy, and you become really, really good at it. Someone's going to pay you lots more money for that as well, and you're going to have much, much easier, right? So yes, our parents can have an opinion on what you should do, and Sarika and I will have an opinion for our kids on what they should be doing as well. But I want them to be happy, and I will make sure that whatever they choose, they're going to be the really, really best of it as well. All right. So, like I said, one of the things I talk to people about having 9 different careers, I don't care about people's job titles anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm saying, but are you happy?
Yeah.
That's a different question altogether, right?
Yes.
So people are used to, wow, well done you, VP of this, and they recognize, but are you happy? And when I ask them that question,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, Sarika and I, we coming in and we speaking to youngsters from a place of experience.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is, if you go through the journey of trying to figure out what you want and what you're really, really good at, and I can't tell you how long that's going to take because it's taken me most of my life to get to where I'm here, right? But
Yeah.
that's part of the journey, guys,
Yeah.
right? I know for those that don't know what they want to do, they're impatient to figure it out yesterday. I get that because I've been there. And all I'm trying to say is, if you don't know what you want, just try different things. Because sometimes it's part of the journey when you try different things. I most definitely don't want to do that, and I
Yes.
most definitely don't want to do that. And
Yeah.
by the process of elimination, okay, so if I don't want to do those things, then I know it's going to be one of these couple things. And every single time, trial by elimination, you get a bit closer to what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the journey now. I don't believe in a job for life anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different opportunities and so much flexibility in life. Try different things if you want and if it feels right for you.
Definitely. And the way that, I suppose, the skills as well, it's almost like your skills will map over to something else. You don't necessarily have to do skills for a job. Focus on sharpening your skills and they will map onto a number of roles that, you'd be suitable for.
And just to add to what you just said there, Sarika, what I tell people is you need to be running towards the problems.
Yeah.
Why? The more complex and the more complicated and the more valuable the problems you're able to solve, the more money people are going to pay you for doing those things.
Yeah. Because it's an extremely rare skill to have.
It's extremely rare skill to have. And that's the thing that I'm trying to say. So whatever you decide to do, make sure you enjoy it, and then you become very, very good at it.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of people are do jobs, there's nothing wrong with it, okay? If you're happy where you are, that's okay. But a lot of people do jobs just for the paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay? And I would say, well, if Sarika was to dedicate her life to PE,
yeah,
right? What's the incentive after work to learn more about PE if it's not something you enjoy?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. So it's a clock in and clock out, and I don't want to do it ever. Even though she's spending half her life on a daily basis at that job, what's the incentive, right? And this is, like I said, for me, it was maths. Right? Like I can do some of the basic maths, but my accountant deals with everything else. But if you gave me a job speaking about finance every single day, right?
That would not excite you.
It wouldn't excite me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like I said, people say, how'd you get so good at public speaking? It's because I'm talking about stuff I like and I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Figure that out and everything else will work it out. I mean, that's still another chapter, but we go from there.
Yes, but no, you see the passion come through and the excitement,
exactly. And you can't fake that. You can't fake that passion.
Exactly. And then that's Sunday blues doesn't happen, that you've got to go to work on Monday because you're looking forward to it. You're excited about what the week's going to bring. So yeah, I agree. So you mentioned earlier AI, which is a really big topic at the moment across many industries. It's, a lot of companies are starting to use it more within their day-to-day running of businesses. And you mentioned kind of, running job descriptions through AI to help support that process. How else can you, actually younger individuals start to embrace it more? Because this is something that they're going to start to, grow up with. It's going to be more normal for them. How can they embrace it a little bit more? What other things could they do using AI? And how do you almost feel like that job market's changed because of AI moving forward?
Great question. So every one of my clients in every different field they are, one of the challenges I have them, you need to go and investigate on research online how AI is changing your role.
Yeah.
Because one of the challenges with the education at the moment is that the jobs of tomorrow, the job titles and the jobs of tomorrow haven't been invented yet with how the way AI is changing the game. Okay? So how can you as an educational institution tailor your curriculum for a job that hasn't even been invented yet?
Yeah.
As things are changing that quickly at the moment. That's the biggest challenge right now. So one of the things I tell to all my clients, there's free courses online, right? Free courses from Harvard and Google on how to. So I tell people, you have to learn to play with AI. For youngsters, they say play with AI, right? But I'm talking with senior professionals, go and play with AI. And that's a completely alien concept. It's like, I've got everything done and I'm here. It's like, no, survival, we have to relearn. And so I say to a lot of people is, learn to make automation, to learn what it means. The buzzword at the moment is Claude Code. I'm learning a bit more about Claude Code and, how to code without knowing anything about coding,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
And all these other things. So for me, for everyone else is go and take some courses, go play around with AI. There's a lot of free stuff and resources out there. Okay. And what I want to say is for everyone, if you want to stand out in whatever career you want to do, if on your CV you have some free online certifications that you did this AI, and this AI, some of the hiring managers don't even know what the heck AI is. A lot of companies still have their head buried in the sand.
Yes.
We are about it tomorrow, right? So if you, as the youngster coming in, right, that'll help you stand out even more. Is to say, yeah, I've been learning about AI. I've been doing some of this coding. I've been trying some of this. I've been working out some of these things, and you can go in and teach your hiring manager how to do some of these things.
Yeah.
That's additional value you bring to the table, and you don't need work experience and all things. So I would say to people, especially for youngsters, AI is changing the game. And so if you have the time, figure out how AI can work with the type of work you want to do in the future. Do the research and learn different things. It's still early days, in the terms of where AI and how things are. So we're at the right time to go learn new skills that you can add onto your CV that'll help you stand out from everyone else, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, what I tell people is AI is like an amplifier, right? So it will do whatever you tell it to do, right? Give me a recipe for this, it'll do that. Find me the closest place from here, it'll do all of that. It'll do all those searching for you, right? So one of the biggest things for the future is to understand how AI works.
Yeah.
And understanding the right prompts and the right questions to give AI, but at the same time, you're the person driving it and understanding the logic behind it and the process behind it. And if you can do that, and if you can explain that to other people, that's also going to be a game changer for your career, whatever you want to do as well. Because for every single career people I speak to, say, you need to go and understand this. Because I'm doing it as well. I use it with my clients from a career perspective. And then I tell everybody else. And I'm still learning today, and tomorrow I'll learn a bit more. So we're all in the same level. So to add to your question, Sarika, I believe AI is leveling the playing field like never before.
Yeah.
Because everyone's starting from scratch in terms of what they need to study and what they need to learn. And there's a couple people, small percentage of them ahead of the game. But in the grand scheme of things, billions and billions and billions of people don't know how to leverage AI. So that's the biggest opportunity for job seekers right now when they're going into the market, is because it can help with processing. I know companies out there are using it for the initial phone calls to touch. So it's going to impact every single company and business out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose in my era, it was more, can you use Microsoft Excel? Can you use all of those packages? And AI is almost like the next iteration of that. Actually, they will start to look at what experience have you got in AI? What can you do? So now at the early stages, you can get ahead of the game in that respect. I know that's really, really good. So in terms of, I suppose, just going back to your passion of going out, speaking to younger individuals and supporting them to help find the right career, when you're kind of talking to these individuals, what surprises you kind of most about the next generation? What are they missing, or what challenges are they facing that you kind of come up against in terms of the feedback you receive from these individuals?
So it's quite interesting you say that, because the same challenges they're asking is the same challenges I had when I was a kid, right?
Okay.
How do I get my first job? How do I stand out? How do you become so confident at public speaking? It's when I speak to students and I go around and I try and help as much as I can, I just imagine myself when I was their age. Right. And talk to some of the doubts and the fears and the unknown and the frustration, especially if you don't know what you want to do. And you might have friends around you that they know exactly what they want to do. So I was always one that used to be jealous about everyone. So the questions are still the same.
Yeah.
Right? Because people want clarity over what it is they want to do, right? And they're asking for the latest tools and how to get from A to B as quickly as possible. And everyone's looking for certainty. Right? Everyone's certainty. What's the process? Well, how to get from it? What's the process? And I'm going to be the process is there is no one size fits all approach to all of this, right? And finding out is part of the journey. That's all to say. So we're getting the same question. So some of the questions that you're asking right now, what to do, and all, it's the same in the past as well, and the future generation of the same thing. Because as much as technology can come in and make our lives a little bit easier, finding out about ourselves is the journey that no one else can do except for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. And that's really important.
But if we ask the right questions, but if we ask the right questions and we surround ourselves with the right people, it makes it quicker, faster, and a heck of a lot more fun as well.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And you can probably impart the experience, the challenges you've had, the mistakes you've made. If you're then resonating with these younger individuals, I've been through those challenges.
Yes.
I know how to get out of them.
It makes that connection. It makes that connection much quicker, faster, and building trust and building rapport. Which is what we're trying to do as much as possible when we are communicating with others.
Yes, yeah, definitely. So looking specifically then, that some individuals, they are not as confident, could quite feel overwhelmed by this whole career search. They might not have parents that are there to kind of support and guide them, or any individuals in their lives where they've got a bit of, older experience to guide them on what to do or where to go. What advice would you give to somebody that's like a young person that maybe feels a little bit on their own on this journey?
Great question. Great question. So what I would say, sometimes looking for a job seems so far away and so daunting and so scary. Where the heck do you start?
Yeah.
And so I like to work backwards, but I always think about, okay, what's the next step? Right? So the people that don't have much support, much community around them, if you're in school, figure out some clubs that you'd like to be part of, some societies you want to be part of, right? And do the things that you like, but challenge yourself to do some of the things that you might not, that excites you but terrify the heck out of you at the same time, right? And so, a case in point, if there's a debate club, or there's running a play or a theater show or something, and they're looking for people to come in there, right?
Yeah.
Those things build up your confidence. Those things build up your communication skills in a safe environment with like-minded people. Right? So again, yes, you want the job, but at the same time, start building on the skills now through the things that we have around us, right? Playing sports, you learn to work with other people. You learn to, teamwork and communication. Those things is what you're going to be doing in a work environment anyway.
Yes, yeah.
So the more, not everyone's going to get along.
Yes.
Right? That's part of life. Not everyone's going to get along. And you might be playing on a team and not everyone gets along. And you have to resolve the conflict. Yeah. Those are skills when you learn young, you can reuse for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
So all I would say to people, depending where you are, you have not much support, you have all these things, I would say be around, follow your interests first and see how you can do with other people. Small wins, confidence, before we go into the bigger problem of trying to find a job.
That's exactly it. And it comes back to what you said at the start. It's that mindset shift, isn't it? Of actually, how am I going to use this in a positive way? And whilst the job market might seem overwhelming, I have got the skills, and actually how am I going to then push them forward, as in, playing rounders, that's teamwork, communication, and all of those skills can be used in everyday scenarios to kind of show that I've got the skills that might not be refined because it's not a workplace setting, but I've still got those skills that we can build upon.
I mean, just to give you if I give you an extreme example, because I'm crazy, guys, if you haven't seen that already, I push myself to do things out of my comfort zone, okay? So when I was younger, still very much an introvert, I pushed myself to go to salsa class.
Wow.
Okay, so learning how to dance, meeting new people, all these type of things, like, what are you talking about? But after you go to do it a while and you learn some moves and you're a bit more confident, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, and the skills I learned out of that is just to learn to speak to other people, have fun, smile, and just have fun. So one of the things I talk to people a lot is, for me, I'm a big believer in having fun.
Yeah.
Because when I'm having fun, and if you haven't realized it at the moment, guys, I'm having fun having a chat with Sarika at the moment. We're just having a chat. She's just recording it, but I don't care about the recording because I'm having fun, right? So what I would say to you guys is, if you do more of things of having fun and interacting with other people, okay? Because as kids, I know I can sit down on our PlayStation and that's our fun, but that doesn't build you life skills of interaction and how you play with others, right? As much as we'd like to, I'm in my room and I'm going to be a famous Xbox or PlayStation thing, and I get all my money from that. That's a very, very small percentage. Very good to play all those games. Everybody else needs to learn how to play with others.
Yeah.
Right. So my challenge to everyone is find something you find fun that excites you but scares you as well. Because only then is that you're going out of your comfort zone every single time.
Yes.
And have fun as well, guys. Right?
Yeah.
Because when we're having fun, we more likely want to do more of it as well. So that's my advice for that. That helps.
You're more relaxed, and life's too short not to be having fun anyway. So you might as well.
Yes.
You might as well, definitely. So, one of the things that caught my attention was you're on a bit of a mission to help 1 million people land jobs. So, what's the plan there? Because that's quite a bold statement and actually quite exciting as well.
So here's the thing: it's a statement. I have no idea how I'm going to get it done. Right? and when I say that, what I'm trying to say is it's a lifetime goal of mine. Okay, and so one of the personal development podcasts I listened to, they talked about aim. It's a moonshot. Aim for the moon.
Yeah.
Right. Our purpose in life is to figure out our why.
Yes.
The how is part of the journey later on.
Yeah.
Right. So for me is think about something so crazy.
Yes.
That it scares me and excites me at the same time, guys, right? So my mission, my goal is, so as I say, my advice I've given to you guys, I practice what I preach.
Yes.
Right? I practice what I preach. So how I'm going to help 1 million people, I have no idea. But if that's the goal that I'm going to take for the rest of my life, that excites me. I'm like, we'll work it out. So I'll try different things. So I'm giving talks. I'm on social media every single day, guys. I'm doing videos. I'm putting help out there. Videos on the YouTube channel. I've just put it out there. Okay. But just putting it out there is not enough. It's like, okay, I'm writing a book at the moment, right? So I'm trying all these different things.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is I'm having as much fun as I can as I do all these things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like work for me.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. As I go with this journey and I speak to it doesn't feel like work for me, but I'm going to do it anyway. Right? And when you find your passion and when you find what you're meant to do, that's where the magic happens. And that's when I speak to people. It's not just about landing your next job. It's about what is it you're meant to, your purpose. I'm very much, what's your purpose? I believe we're all here for a reason, right? And our journey, first off, is to figure out what that reason is and then spend the rest of their life getting it done. So, that's why that very outspoken, outlandish, crazy 1 million goal. It's like, well, what else are you going to do? Right? Go big or go home, is what I say.
Definitely. I definitely resonate with that because in my old job, I worked in business development and there were so many times projects would come and we'd say, yeah, we can do it. And then me and my manager at the end, we'd go through, right, how do we do it now? We need to look at YouTube videos, we need to learn how to code this or do this, and we'd get it done. But you'd feel great because you started from literally a standstill.
Exactly, right? And it's the excitement that pulls you out to figure out the how.
Yeah.
The problem with too many people, not just youngsters, but even grown-ups as well, we focus too much on the how. And I said, the how starts from having a direction of where you want to go first. We focus on, I'm going here. How do I do everything else?
Yeah.
And because I'm opening my mind to the how, the how will arrive when it's meant to arrive.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Because I know the how is a means to an end, but I need to understand where I'm going first. So begin with the end in mind.
Yes, definitely. And make it as big and fun as possible.
Go crazy, right? And like I said, and guys, Sarika only knows this because I've plastered it all over my LinkedIn profile, right? So one of the things I've learned, so I said everything I've done is through personal, doing things the hard way. So when we make a goal, and we don't tell anybody, it's very easy to let ourselves down.
Yes. Yeah, because no one knows. No one's going to ask you about it.
Because no one knows that there's no things, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, the 1st of January 2025, I made a video on LinkedIn to say, okay, so my goal for the rest of this year to help me with consistency, I'm going to post a video on LinkedIn every single day.
Yeah.
1st of January 2025.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. If I don't tell anybody, I let myself down. If I tell everybody, I can't let everybody else down. That's the type of person I am. So knowing myself, that worked. From the 1st of January 2025 until this very day, I've posted a video every single day.
Oh, well
There's
done.
days I've not felt like it. There's days at 2:00. Oh my gosh, I haven't done my video yet. I'll go and do the video and then I post it. Okay? Because when, like I said, when you tell people what you want to do or what you're going to do, I don't like letting other people down.
Yes.
So it's going to be done.
Yes, that's definitely a good point, actually, because then you're almost, you feel more accountable that I need to do it because I've said that I'm going to do it and people know I'm going to do it. Therefore, I need to follow through and, deliver.
Well, because like I've put my reputation on the line now.
Yeah.
A reputation, guys, if the youngsters, a reputation is everything in this game. You do a couple of things, it's going to be very difficult to find your next role if your reputation's not that good. So that's what I do. And
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I've really enjoyed having the conversation with you and kind of resonating with some bits, but also learning tips for myself as well. So where is it that our listeners can kind of connect with you or, join any of your workshops? How do they do that?
So, first thing is, as you can see there on my side there, James Tomasi Kennedy, and that's done on purpose because I talk to people about your brand. Okay, if you look on LinkedIn or if you look online, James Kennedy, there's like 1 billion of us in the world. Okay,
yeah.
But there is only one James Tomasi Kennedy.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm on LinkedIn. Most of my stuff is on LinkedIn, guys. So James Tomasi Kennedy, if you look for me on LinkedIn, you will find me there. I have a free community where I do a lot of free stuff for both students and executives. So if you want to come and check it out, it's all there as well. My stuff is on YouTube. It's under Dream Job Secrets. And I just share stuff, right? Ask me the questions and I'll make a video about it. It's all part of the goal for 1 million. And having fun while I do it.
Yes. Amazing. No, thank you so much for your time. Good luck for your goal towards getting 1 million people and supporting and guiding them.
Thank you very much. And best of luck for you to find your dream candidate to come and help with your problems in your company as well, Sarika.
Exactly, at work. Hopefully I'll fill that vacancy shortly. No, thank you for that. So thanks so much for your time. So if you found this episode useful, then please feel free to share it with friends or anybody who's still trying to figure out their kind of career journey. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for helping me, Sarika.